Greetings, friends. I don't think it's necessary to remind you that Germany has long been a recognized leader in the automotive industry, and this was already true by the mid-20th century. Though few today recall, in the early days, German automakers were viewed with considerable skepticism, while attention was focused on giants like Ford. However, it's worth acknowledging that such disregard back then had objective reasons. For instance, the newly emerged Mercedes brand quickly gained a reputation for unreliability. Nevertheless, the German traits of perseverance, precision, and meticulousness bore fruit, leading to the rise of the globally renowned automotive giant Audi. Today, we'll discuss how this company came to be, who its founders were, and where it all began. The origins of the brand trace back to the late 19th century. In 1889, the undeniably talented engineer August Horch founded his first automotive factory, laying the foundation for the future brand. He came from a modest family of a blacksmith, living quite humbly. As a result, at the age of 13, he had to drop out of school to help support his family. By 16, he was working at a wagon building factory in Heidelberg, toiling alongside adults. According to biographers, it was this hard labor and challenging life circumstances that greatly shaped his character. He realized early on that only determination, persistence, and hard work could lift him out of poverty and lead to success. From the age of 16, he worked and saved money, and only at 20, nearly an adult, did he return to his studies. Remarkably, through his determination, he independently passed the entrance exams for the Saxon Engineering School. After graduating, he worked at a foundry in Rostock and later in the design department of a shipbuilding company in Leipzig. However, his name might have remained unknown if not for one pivotal event. While living in Leipzig, Horch saw the Benz Velo automobile for the first time. For context, this model was the world's first mass-produced four-wheeled car, created by Carl Benz. Visually, this compact vehicle was a scaled-down version of the successful 1893 Benz Victoria model. After 3 years of work, Horch developed a reliable front-wheel steering mechanism. Between 1894 and 1901, the Benz Velo was mass-produced, with 134 units manufactured in the first 2 years, and a total of approximately 1,300 units by the end of production. The Benz Velo, patented in 1895, became the first standardized, mass-produced model. Naturally, society at the time was not yet accustomed to automobiles, and the appearance of this technological marvel on the streets sparked lively interest among passers-by. Young boys watched this engineering masterpiece with admiration, and it was in this way that August Horch, hurrying home from work, first encountered an automobile. However, unlike the enthralled onlookers who saw Carl Benz's creation as a technological wonder, our hero remained indifferent to what he saw. To be honest, very little is known about this episode. The only certain fact is that the automobile left August so unimpressed that he wrote a letter to Carl Benz, requesting a position in his company. In the letter, Horch detailed his observations, pointing out design features that, in his view, needed improvement. Moreover, he boldly claimed to know how to enhance the technical solutions. Astonishing, isn't it? A chance encounter with a car, while heading home from work, completely altered not only his destiny, but also the entire trajectory of the automotive industry. It sounds incredible, but when Carl Benz read the letter and took an interest in the bold young man, he immediately invited him to join his company. Within a month, he appointed August as head of production, a role Horch held for 3 years. Horch himself referred to his mentor as Papa Benz, as Carl became a true teacher to him. The only source of dissatisfaction for August was Benz's excessive adherence to tradition. Horch wanted to experiment, introduce innovations, and develop new ideas. He dreamed of realizing his own projects, especially given his practical experience under the guidance of the automobile's inventor. However, Carl didn't grant him full creative freedom, which led August to consider building his own car. Naturally, starting a business without investment was impossible, but luck was on his side. An influential industrialist learned of the ambitious engineer and helped him launch his venture A, Horch & Company. In 1899, the company's staff consisted of just 11 employees. Within 6 months, the team grew several times over, and by 1900, Horch unveiled his first self-designed car, which stood out distinctly from Benz's offering. Its 2-cylinder, 4-horsepower engine operated smoothly and quietly. Horch aimed to surpass his mentor. The engine was placed at the front, with the rear wheels driven by a leather belt. The gearbox was integrated with the main transmission, a technically daring solution for the time. The body was crafted by a workshop in Cologne called Thermal. Thus began the history of the legendary brand, laying the foundation for the future company. Just 2 years later, the next car, the Horch Model 2, was introduced in collaboration with engineer Fritz Seidel. Thanks to this success, the company moved from a small hangar to a spacious factory in Reichenbach, with its staff growing to 100 employees. However, Horch's ideas outpaced the production capabilities, and in 1903, he relocated the enterprise to Zwickau. That same year, August secured new investors and began developing the next model. Creating the new car took 4 years, but the effort paid off. Within just a few months, 307 units of the Horch Z, equipped with a 22 horsepower engine, were sold. The company's capital soared to 525,000 Reichsmarks, and that was not the limit. At the time, the best way to showcase a car's quality was through competitions, and any self-respecting manufacturer was obliged to participate. Starting in 1906, Horch cars actively participated in racing competitions. However, it was precisely their involvement in races, particularly a loss in the competition for the Heinrich of Prussia Prize, that sparked a conflict between August Horch and the shareholders. The latter viewed Horch as an adventurer and were staunchly opposed to his approaches to production development. Due to escalating disputes, a court ruling stripped Horch of the right to manage the company that bore his name. Essentially, he was ousted. August found himself with nothing, no capital, no support, only his accumulated experience and an unyielding desire to keep working. For about 6 months, he did nothing. He fell into depression, but in the evenings, he diligently jotted down ideas in a notebook, one after another. When the notebook was nearly filled, he realized that no one would bring his ideas to life unless he took the initiative himself. Fortunately, by then, he had earned recognition and valuable business connections. Borrowing a substantial sum, for the time 200,000 marks, from friends and business partners, he set out to start a new venture. His surname, Horch, translated to listen, and August pondered for a long time over a suitable name for the new company. As often happens, a simple coincidence settled the matter. One day, the son of an engineer and family friend, while studying Latin, mentioned the verb audire, to listen. Thus, the name of the future brand was born, the Latin equivalent of Horch's surname, Audi. The new company was officially founded just a few months later in 1910 in Chemnitz, under the name Audi Automobilwerke GmbH. In any circumstances, I aim to create large, high-quality cars from top-notch materials, August said, as he established operations at the new site. And he kept his word. The first car under the Audi brand, the AU22, featured a 4-cylinder engine with a displacement of 2 cubic centimeters and 22 horsepower. Within a year, Audi cars began competing in races and winning prizes. Models like the C1435, produced until 1925, as well as the D and E series, emerged during this time. Until the pivotal year of 1914, Horch actively developed the design direction, but once again, difficulties arose with the shareholders. What proved to be a saving grace was that, before the war began, August had secured administrative positions in city structures and joined the board of Feldkraftwagen, an organization producing military vehicles. Having strengthened his position, Horch relocated to Berlin. As he put it, that was the heart of Germany, the source. And I wanted to be at the source. However, even this couldn't prevent history from repeating itself. While he was in Berlin, the shareholders in Zwickau decided to remove him from Audi's operational management. He remained only a member of the supervisory board, but this did little to tarnish his reputation among automotive engineers. In 1922, the Technical University of Braunschweig awarded him an honorary doctorate, and he began actively participating in public events. Although he never returned to active design work, his authority remained unquestioned. Even 8 years later, in 1930, specialized publications noted, "In complex cases, turn to Dr. Engineer Horch. What happened to Audi?" In 1928, the brand was acquired by motorcycle manufacturer DKW, and in 1931, the front-wheel drive DKW F1 made its debut. This model was the complete opposite of everything produced under August Horch. Amid the global economic crisis, demand for cars with large engines plummeted. The then head of Audi ordered the design of a compact front-wheel drive car, resulting in the DKW F1. The crisis significantly impacted the company's further development. The municipal bank, which had financed several automakers, including Audi, feared for the safety of its investments. This likely prompted a major and fateful decision. On the 29th of June, 1932, the factories of Audi, Porsche, Wanderer, and DKW merged into a single entity called Auto Union AG. The new conglomerate's symbol for interlocking rings remains Audi's emblem to this day, representing the union of the four manufacturers. Initially, the Audi logo was used only on racing cars, while each company retained its own brand identity. However, the new symbol soon became universal. After the merger, Auto Union quickly became Germany's second-largest automaker. Each company within the group carved out a specific niche. Audi focused on sports cars, DKW on motorcycles, Porsche on large premium vehicles, and Wanderer on mid-range luxury models. This brings us to 1944, when World War II drastically changed everything. By then, most factories had been destroyed by airstrikes. There were even rumors that the conglomerate's leadership continued to use labor in highly dangerous conditions. According to an internal Auto Union report published in 2014, the company bears moral responsibility for the deaths of 4,500 people in Leitmeritz. The accuracy of these figures is hard to verify, but the tragedy itself is undeniable. By the war's end, most production facilities were demolished, and equipment was either dismantled or removed from the country. The company avoided complete closure because some machinery and parts had been preemptively relocated to Bavaria, where motorcycle and component production continued even during the war year. The conglomerate was officially re-registered only by the late 1940s, with the release of the first post-war car, the DKW F89P Masterclass. By the late 1950s, Auto Union sold 88% of its shares to Daimler-Benz AG, which later acquired full ownership. However, financial difficulties soon hit Daimler-Benz, and in 1964, Auto Union was absorbed by Volkswagen. At that time, the Audi brand had nearly faded from the market. But everything changed when a new manager decided to revive production under the iconic name. Audi's return was almost secretive. After Volkswagen's acquisition, all production resources were initially dedicated to VW models, and only later did development of a new Audi lineup begin. Former Audi design engineer Ludwig Krauss, now working within the new company, secretly began developing a fresh model. Remarkably, when Volkswagen learned of this, they did not obstruct his efforts. This, friends, is how the mid-size Audi 100 was born, a car that soon rightfully became iconic. The model was available as a 2- or 4-door sedan and as a fastback. The Audi 100 launched an entire lineup of cars that retained the principles of front-wheel drive and longitudinal engine placement. These vehicles were in high demand both in Germany and the Soviet Union, especially after the release of the second generation. The car stood out for its excellent dynamics, practicality, and high level of comfort. However, Audi's true revival came in 1969 with its merger with NSU Motor & Work AG. In 1972, the Audi 80 was introduced, a compact sedan built on the Volkswagen Passat platform. Later, its luxury variant, the Audi 90, appeared. This model featured a McPherson front suspension and telescopic shock absorbers. Equipment options included gasoline engines ranging from 54 to 100 horsepower. In 1973, the Audi 80 won the European Car of the Year award, surpassing models like the Alfa Romeo, Alfetta, and Renault 5. In 1974, Ferdinand Piëch took over as head of Audi's design department, under whose leadership 5-cylinder engines, turbocharging, and all-wheel drive systems for passenger cars were introduced. In 1985, the company officially became Audi AG and continued to pursue innovation. Vehicles featured fully galvanized bodies, turbocharged gasoline and diesel engines with direct injection, improved aerodynamics, aluminum structures, and powerful 8- and 12-cylinder engines. By 1993, the Audi Group was established, incorporating new divisions in Hungary and Brazil. Additionally, Audi acquired the British company Cosworth Technology, the Italian brand Lamborghini, and the Spanish brand Seat. On the 3rd of March, 1980, Audi made waves at the Geneva Motor Show by unveiling its first passenger car with permanent all-wheel drive, the legendary Quattro. The idea for this transmission originated in 1976 during tests of the VW Iltis off-roader. The Iltis's excellent performance on snowy tracks inspired engineers to apply a similar system to the Audi 80. A year later, a prototype named Quattro Italian for 4 was ready. Initially criticized for its complex design and excess weight, the car later dominated races and won numerous awards. The company also released a memorable advertisement, an Audi Quattro climbing a ski jump. After accusations that a winch was used, Audi repeated the stunt, and interest in the model soared to record levels. In 1990, an updated Audi 100 was released, equipped for the first time with a V6 engine of 2.8 liters, producing 174 horsepower. This engine was considered the lightest in its segment. The next major lineup update came in 1995 when the Audi A4 replaced the Audi 80. The new model was also based on the 5th generation Volkswagen Passat platform. In terms of size, the Audi A6 was nearly identical to its predecessor, but introduced a host of technical innovations. It boasted improved directional stability and high passive safety standard. In 1994, it officially replaced the Audi 100 and was classified as a business class vehicle. The car was equipped with gasoline engines, including those with twin turbocharging, as well as diesel units. It offered both front-wheel and all-wheel drive transmissions. As for the Audi TT Sports Coupe, it debuted at the 1998 Geneva Motor Show, followed by a roadster version a year later. The model came with both front and all-wheel drive, and starting with the second generation, it featured a turbocharged engine and an automatic transmission. From 1994, Audi rapidly expanded into the premium segment, introducing the Executive A8 sedan. These cars quickly won the hearts of millions, thanks to their comfort, high-quality sound insulation, corrosion-resistant bodies, and, of course, reliability. Even today, many cars from that golden 1990s generation can be seen on the roads, still looking as good as new. Successful sales enabled Audi to expand its influence. The brand acquired not only Lamborghini but also Ducati, the renowned motorcycle manufacturer, which came under its umbrella. The mid-2000s marked another period of growth. In 2005, Audi debuted its first SUV, the Q7, featuring permanent all-wheel drive, a 6-speed automatic transmission, and a lane change assist system. In 2007, the 2-seater R8 sports car with a mid-engine layout was introduced. Built on the Lamborghini Gallardo platform, it featured an aluminum monocoque, all-wheel drive, and became the world's first production car with fully LED headlights. Since the release of the first Audi, production has steadily grown, and from 2010, annual deliveries exceeded 1 million units. Today, Audi's lineup covers everything: executive, class vehicles, sports models, supercars, crossovers, and everyday sedans. Even Audi's most compact models are more than just transportation, they are symbols of status and taste. I'm sure you'll find it intriguing to learn a bit more about the brand's history. Few know that Audi was the first automaker to conduct a crash test back in 1938. Moreover, early on, Audi and Horch premium cars were popular among affluent Germans. It was in a powerful and striking Horch 930 that Adolf Hitler frequently traveled to occupied territories. One fascinating fact is the high popularity of Audi cars among young people under 30, despite the brand's rather conservative image and significant cost. Additionally, Audi holds the distinction of being the first car in history to accelerate to 200 kilometers per hour within just 1 kilometer. Today, the company employs over 85,000 people, and Audi cars and motorcycles are officially represented in more than 120 countries worldwide. 17 production facilities operate in 13 countries. Despite the impressive scale of production and numerous innovations, the company's primary focus remains on developing new models and environmentally sustainable technologies for the future. Power and quality, the principles upheld by the brand's founder, August Horch, continue to form the core of Audi's philosophy. The brand's style is rooted in refined rationalism, a classic, understated design that emphasizes functionality over ostentatious flair, no visual overload. This is likely what Audi's fan-affluent individuals with a keen sense of style value most. As for August Horch himself, after leaving the company, he retained influence within Nazi elite circles. He served on the ministerial council and advocated among other things, for restrictions on American car import. In 1942, at the age of 74, Horch was appointed vice president of Auto Union Supervisory Board. However, like the Third Reich, the conglomerate's days were numbered. Despite holding prominent positions under the Nazi regime, Horch never joined the National Socialist Party, which likely spared him from post-war persecution. He retired quietly, proud of the contributions he had made to the German automotive industry. August Horch passed away on the 3rd of February, 1951, in Bavaria without pomp or lavish ceremonies. Nevertheless, both brands he founded, Horch and Audi, have left an indelible mark on history. Horch cars stand alongside the greatest models of the 1930s, while Audi continues to thrive, though its production facilities are now in Ingolstadt rather than Zwickau. Despite the changes, Audi maintains an excellent global reputation, a fitting tribute to the talented engineer whose name is forever etched in the annals of the automotive industry. So, friends, what are your thoughts on Audi cars? Do you have any experience owning these vehicles? Share your opinions in the comments. Like the video, and see you next time. Bye!